Yo, what's up, YouTube? Today I'm going to be reading the YouTube Terms of Service. Yeah. So let's get started so it's not that long of a video. Terms of Service. What's in these terms? This index is designed to help you understand some of the key updates we've made to our Terms of Service terms. We hope this serves as a useful guide, but please ensure you read these terms in full. Welcome to YouTube. This section outlines our relationship with you and includes a description of the service, defines our agreement, and names your service provider. Who may use the service? The section sets our certain requirements for use of the service and defines categories of users. Your use of the service. This section explains your rights to use the service and the conditions that apply to your use of the service. It also explains how we may make changes to the service. Your context and conduct. This section applies to users who provide content of the service. It defines the scope of the permissions that you grant by uploading your content and includes your agreement not to upload anything that infringes on anyone else's rights. Account suspension and termination. This section explains how you and YouTube may terminate this relationship. About software and the service. The section includes details about software on the service. Other legal terms. This section includes our service committed to you. It also explains that there are some things we will not be responsible for about this agreement. This section includes some further important details about our contract, including what to expect if we need to make changes to these terms or which law applies to them. Terms of service dated December 15th of 2023. Terms of service. Welcome to YouTube. Introduction. Thank you for using the YouTube platform and the products, serving, and features we make available to you as part of the platform. Collectively, the service. Our service. The service allows you to discover, watch, and share videos and other content. Provides a forum for people to connect, inform, and inspire others across the globe, and acts as distribution platform for original content creators and large and small. We provide lots of information about our products and how to use them in our help center. Among other things, you can find out about YouTube Kids, the YouTube Partner Program, and use paid memberships and purchase where available. You can also read all about enjoying content on other devices like your television, your games console, or Google Home. Your service provider. The entity providing the service is Google, LLC, a company operating under the laws of Delaware, located at 10600 Amphitheater Parkway, Mountain View, CA 94043, referred to as YouTube. We, us, or our references to YouTube affiliates. And these terms mean the other companies within the Alphabetic Inc. corporate group now or in the future. Applicable terms. Your use of the service is subject to these terms, the YouTube community guidelines, and the policies, safety, and copyright policies, which may be updated for time to time together. This agreement. Your agreement with us will also include the advertising on YouTube policies if you provide advertising or sponsorship to the service or incorporate paid promotions in your content. Any other links or references provided in these terms are informational use only and are not a part of our agreement. Please read this agreement carefully and make sure you understand it. If you do not understand the agreement or do not accept any part of it, then you may not use the service. Who may use the service? You must be at least 13 years old to use the service. I'm 13. Almost 14 in 15 days. However, children of all ages may use the service in YouTube Kids, where available, if enabled by parent or legal guardian. Permission by parent or guardian. If you are under 18, you represent that you have your parent or guardian's permission to use the service. Please have them read this agreement with you. If you are a parent or legal guardian of a user under the age of 18, by allowing your child to use the service, you are subject to the terms, agreement, and responsible for your child's activity on the service. You can find tools and resources to help you manage your family's experience on YouTube, including how to enable child under the age of 13 to use the service in your YouTube Kids in our Help Center and through Google's Family Link. businesses. If you are using the service on behalf of a company or organization, you represent that you have authority to act on behalf of that entity, and that such entity accepts this agreement. Your use of the service. Content on the service. The content on the service includes videos, audio, for example, music and other sounds, graphics, photos, text such as comments and scripts, branding, including trade names, trademarks, service marks, or logos, interactive features, software, metrics, and other material either provided to you, YouTube, or a third party collectively. Content. Content is the responsibility of the person or entity that provides it to the service. YouTube is under no obligation to host or serve content. If you see any content you believe does not comply with this agreement, including my violation, the community guidelines, or the law, you can report it to us. Google accounts and YouTube channels. You can use parts of the service, such as browsing and searching for content, without having a Google account. However, you do need a Google account to use some features. With a Google account, you may be able to like videos, subscribe to channels, create your own channel, and more. You can follow these instructions to create a Google account. Creating a YouTube channel will give you access to additional features and functions, such as uploading videos, making comments, or creating playlists where available. Here are some details about how to create your own YouTube channel. To protect your Google account, keep your password confidential. You should not reuse your Google account password on third-party applications. Learn about keeping your Google account secure, including what to do if you learn any unauthorized use or Google of your password or Google account. Your information. Our private policy explains how we treat your personal data and protect your privacy when you use the service. The YouTube Kids Privacy Notice provides additional information about our privacy practices that are specific to YouTube Kids. We will process any audio or audio-visual content uploaded by the service in accordance with the YouTube data processing terms, except in cases where you upload such content for personal purposes or household activities. Learn more. Permissions and restrictions. You may access and use service as made available to you as long as you comply with this agreement and applicable law. You may view or listen to content for your personal, non-commercial use. You may also show YouTube videos through the embeddable YouTube player. Following restrictions apply to your use service. You are not allowed access, reproduce, download, distribute, transmit, broadcast, display, sell, license, alter, modify, or otherwise use any part of the service or any content except A, as expressly authorized by the service, or B, with prior written permission for YouTube and, if applicable, the respects rights holders. Circumvent, disable, fraudulently engage with, or otherwise interfere with any part of the service, or attempt to do any of these things. Include security-related features or features that A, prevent, restrict the copying or use of other content, or B, limit the use of the service or content. Access the service using an automated means, such as robots, botnets, or scrapers, except A, in the case of the public search engines, in accordance with YouTube robots.txt file, or B, with YouTube's prior written permission. Collect or harvest any information that might identify a person, for example, usernames or faces, unless permitted by that person or allow under selection 3 above. Use the service to distribute unsolicited promotional or commercial content or other unwanted or mass solicitations. Cause or encourage any inaccurate measurement of genuine user engagement with the service, including by paying people or providing them with incentives to increase video views, likes, or dislikes, or to increase a channel's subscribers, or otherwise manipulate metrics in any manner. Misuse any reporting, flagging, complaint, dispute, or appeals process, including by making groundless, vexatious, or frivolous submissions. Run contests on or through the service that do not comply with YouTube's contest policies and guidelines. Use the service to view or listen to content other than for personal non-commercial use. For example, you may not publicly screen videos or stream music from the service, or use the service to A. Sell any advertising, sponsorship, or promotional places placed on, around, or within the service or content, other than those allowed in the advertising on YouTube policies, such as compliant product placements, or B. Sell advertised sponsorships or promotions on any page of any website or application that only contains context from the service, or where content from the service is the primary basis for such sales. For example, selling ads on a web page where YouTube videos are the main draw for users visiting the web page. Reservation. Using the services does not give you ownership of or rights to any aspect of the service, including usernames or any other content posted by others or YouTube. Develop, improve, and update the service. YouTube is constantly changing and improving the service as part of the continual evolution. We may make modifications or changes to all or part of the service, such as adding or removing features and functionalities, offering new digital content or services, or discontinuing old ones. We may also need to alter or discontinue the service or any part of it in order to make performance or security improvements, and make a change to comply with law or prevent illegal activities on or abuse for our system. These changes may affect all users, some users, or even an individual user. When the service requires or includes downloadable software, such as the YouTube Studio application, that software may update automatically on your device once a new version or feature is available, subject to your device setting. If we make material changes that negatively impact your use of the service, we'll provide you with reasonable advance notice. Exceptions in urgent situations, such as preventing abuse, responding to legal requirements, or addressing security and operability issues. We'll also provide you with an opportunity to export your content from your Google account using Google Takeout, subject to applicable laws and policies. Man, we still got a long way to go. Your content and conduct. Uploading content. If you have a YouTube channel, you may be able to upload content to the service. You may use your content to promote your business or artistic enterprise. If you choose to upload content, you must not submit to the service and content that does not comply with this agreement, including the YouTube community guidelines or the law. For example, the content you submit must not include third-party intellectual property, such as copyright material, unless you have permission from the party or are otherwise legally entitled to do so. You are legally responsible for the content you submit to the service. We may also automated systems that analyze your content to help detect infringement and abuse, such as spam, malware, and legal content. Rights you grant. You retain ownership rights in your content. However, we do require you do grant certain rights to YouTube and other users to the service as described below. License to YouTube. By providing content to the service, you grant to YouTube a worldwide, non-exclusive, royalty-free, sub-licensable, and transferred license to use that content, including to reproduce, distribute, prepare derivative works, display, and perform it in connection with the service in YouTube and its successors and affiliates business, including for the purpose of promoting and redistributing part of all of the service. License to other users. You also grant each other user of the service a worldwide, non-exclusive, royalty-free license to access your content through the service and to use that content, including to reproduce, distribute, prepare derivative works, display, and perform it only as enabled by a feature of the service, such as video playback or embeds. For clarity, the license does not grant any rights or permissions for a user to make use of your content independent of the service. Duration of license. The licenses granted by you continue for a commercially reasonable period of time after you remove or delete your content from the service. You understand and agree, however, that YouTube may retain, but not display, distribute, or perform server copies of your videos that have been removed or deleted. Right to monetize. You grant to YouTube the right to monetize your content on the service, and such monetization may include displaying ads on within content or charging users a fee for access. This agreement does not entitle you to any payments starting November 18th of 2020. Any payments you may be entitled to receive from YouTube under the other agreement between you and YouTube, including, for example, payments under the YouTube Partner Program, channel memberships, or Super Chat, will be treated as royalties. If required by law, Google will withhold taxes for such payment. Removing your content. You may remove your content from the service at any time. You also have the option to make a copy of your content before removing it. You must remove your content if you no longer have the rights required by these terms. Removal of content by YouTube. If any of your content is in breach of this agreement, or 2, may cause harm to YouTube or users or third party, we reserve the right to remove or take down or all of such content in our discretion. We will notify you with these reasons for our action unless we reasonably believe that to do so, A, would breach the law or direction of a legal enforcement authority, or would otherwise risk legal liability for YouTube or our affiliates. B, would compromise an investigation or the integrity or option of the service. Or C, would cause harm to any user, other third-party YouTube, or our affiliates. You can learn more about reporting and enforcement, including how to appeal, on the troubleshooting page of our help center. Community guideline strikes. YouTube operates a system of strikes in respect of content that violates the YouTube community guidelines. Each strike comes with varying restriction and may result in permanent removal of your channel from YouTube. A full description of how a strike affects your channel is available on the Community Guidelines Strike Basics page. If you believe that a strike has been issued in error, you may appeal here. If your channel has restricted due to a strike, you must not use another channel to circumvent these restrictions. Violation of this prohibition is a material breach of this agreement, and Google will reserve the rights to terminate your Google account Violation of the prohibition is a material breach of this agreement, and Google reserves the right to terminate your Google account or your access to all or part of the service. Copyright protection. We provide information to help copyright holders manage their intellectual property online in or our YouTube Copyright Center. If you believe that your copyright has been infringed on the service, please send us a notice. We respond to notices of alleged copyright infringement according to the process in our YouTube Copyright Center, where you can also find information about how to resolve a copyright strike. YouTube policies provide for the termination in appropriate circumstances of repeat infringers, access to the service, account suspension, and termination. Terminations about you. You may stop using the service at any time. Follow these instructions to delete the service from your Google account, which involves closing your YouTube channel and removing your data. You also have the option to download a copy of your data first. Terminations and suspensions by YouTube. YouTube reserves the right to suspend or terminate your Google account or your access to all part of the service if A, you materially or repeatedly breach this agreement. B, we are required to do so to comply with a legal requirement or a court order. Or C, we regionally believe that there has been conduct that creates or could create liability or harm to any user, other third-party YouTube or our affiliates. Notice for termination or suspension. We will notify you with the reason for termination or suspension by YouTube unless we reasonably believe that you to do so. A. Would violate the law or the direction of a legal enforcement authority. B. Compromise an investigation. C. Would compromise the integrity, operation, or service of the service, security of the service. Or D. Would cause harm to any user, other third-party, YouTube, or our affiliates. Effect of account suspension or termination. If your Google account is terminated or your access to the service is restricted, you may continue using certain aspects of the service, such as viewing only without an account, and this agreement will continue to apply to such as, if you believe termination or suspension has been made error, you can appeal using this form. About software in the service. Downloadable software. When the service requires or includes downloadable software, such as the YouTube Studio application, unless the software is governed by additional terms which will provide a license, YouTube gives you a personal, worldwide, royalty-free, non-assignable, and non-exclusive license to use software provided to you by YouTube as part of the service. This license is for the sole purpose of enabling you to use and enjoy benefit of the service as provided by YouTube. In the manner permitted by this agreement, you are not allowed to copy, modify, distribute, sell, or lease any part of the software, or to reverse engineer or attempt to extract the source code of that software, unless laws prohibited these restrictions or you have YouTube's written permission. Open source. Some software used in our service may be offered under an open source license that we make available to you. There may be provisions in an open source license that expressly overrides some of these terms, so please be sure to read those licenses. Other legal terms, warranty disclaimers. Other than as expressly stated in this agreement or as required by law, the service is provided as is, and YouTube does not make any specific commitments or warranties about the service. For example, we don't make any warranties about A. The content provided through the service. B. The specific features of the service or its accuracy, reliability, availability, or ability to meet your needs. Or C. That any content you submit will be accessible on the service. Almost done. Limitation of liability. Except as required by applicable law, YouTube, its affiliates, officers, directors, employees, and agents will not be responsible for any loss of profit, revenues, business opportunities, goodwill, or anticipated savings. Loss or corruption of data, indirect or consequential loss, punitive damages caused by errors, mistakes, or inaccuracies on the service, personal injury or property damage resulting from your use of the service, any unauthorized access to use or of the service, any interruption or cessation of the service, any viruses or malicious code transmitted to or through the service by any third party, any content whether submitted by a user or YouTube, including your use of content and or the removal and unavailability of any content. This provision applies to any claim, regardless of whether the claim asserted is based on warranty, contract, tort, or any other legal theory. YouTube and its affiliates' total liability for any claims arising from or relating to the service is limited to a greater of A. The amount of revenue that YouTube has paid to you for the use of service in the 12 months before the date of your notice in writing to YouTube of the claim, and B. USD $500. Indemnity to extent permitted by applicable law. You agree to defend, indemnify, and hold harmless YouTube as its affiliates, officers, directors, employees, and agents form and against any and all claims, damages, obligations, losses, liabilities, costs, or debt and expenses, including but not like to attorney's fees arising from your use of and access to the service, your violation of any term of this agreement, your violation of any third party rights, including without limitation any copyright, property, or any privacy rights or IV number 4, any claim that your content can cause damage to a third party. This defense and indemnification obligation will survive this agreement and your use of the service. Third-party links. The service may contain links to the third-party websites and online services that are not owned or controlled by YouTube. YouTube has no control over and assumes no responsibility for such websites and other services. Be aware when you leave the service, we suggest you read the terms and privacy policies of each third-party website and online service that you visit. About this agreement. Changing this agreement. We may change this agreement, for example, 1. To reflect changes to our services or how we do business, for example, when we add new products or features, to remove old ones for legal, regulatory, or security reasons, or 3. To prevent abuse or harm. If we materially change this agreement, we'll provide you with reasonable advance notion and the opportunities to review the changes, except 1. When we launch a new product or feature, or 2. In urgent situations such as preventing ongoing abuse or responding to legal requirements. If you don't agree to the new terms, you should remove any content you upload and stop using the service. Continuation of this agreement. If your use of the service ends, the following terms of this agreement will continue to apply to you. Other legal terms about this agreement and this license granted by you will described under duration of license. Severance. If it turns out that a particular term of this agreement is not enforceable for any reason, this will not affect any other terms. No waiver. If you fail to comply with this agreement and we do not take immediate action, this does not mean that we are giving up any rights that we may have, such as the right to take action in the future. Interpretation. In these terms, including or including means including but not limited to, and any example we are give for illustrative purposes. Governing law. All claims arising out of the relating to these terms of service will govern by California law, except California's conflict of laws rules, and will be litigated exclusively in the federal or state courts of Santa Clara County, California, USA. You and YouTube consent to personal jurisdiction in those courts. Limitations on legal action. You and YouTube agree that any cause of action arising out or related to the services must commence within 1 year after the cause of action occurs. Otherwise, such a cause of action is permanently barred, effective as of December 15 of 2023. We are finally done reading YouTube's terms of service. So YouTube, now you know I read the terms of service. So don't ban me, because I accepted that I read it, and I just read it now. So thank you for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe to Cup Show, and make sure to buy my merch. And yeah.